Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Bestinslot, and in light of the recent Super Bowl advertisement for Jurassic World, I thought, it means like 20 trillion of you guys came and told me to do this. We're going to do yet another little trailer analysis of the Super Bowl spot type thing, where we go through it frame by frame and just have a little talk about what to expect from the film based on these frames and what we're thinking and all that kind of jazz. I have left out all the frames that we already discussed in previous videos, so all the stuff with the Mosasaurus isn't in here. Now the Mosasaurus has changed slightly, the CGI has been updated to make it looks a lot better now. You can view them side by side and there is a clear improvement in the CGI of the Mosasaurus, but that's really all I could say about it. You know, there's nothing else to say. The CGI across the board has been improved somewhat, and again, people are having a go at it, but you know, the film doesn't come out for another 3 months or so. 4 or 5 months even. Wait, what month is it? It's February. March, April, May. 4 months until the film comes out, and at the moment it will all be post-processing work, which means there's a lot of stuff going on, which is just making the CGI look better. So people need to step back a little bit, chill, relax, and stop worrying about the CGI until they've seen the film. Anyways, right, let's get started. This is one of the scenes that was actually in the last... Oh god, that's a big brush. Let's just knock that down a little bit. This scene was actually in the last trailer. Basically, it looks a little bit better. They've edited the colouring and the shading. The main difference is, and we'll see it again in a second, is there are a lot more dinosaurs this time. A lot more Gallimimuses. There was about 4 or 5 last time, and as you can see, they go right back to the back now. Basic CGI addition, they've just added more, essentially, and they've done the same in this one here. We saw this guy, the 2 kids, the main kids in the film, rolling past in the gyrosphere in the last trailer. And then they rolled past this sauropod on the right hand side, and that's about all you got. This time we actually have what looks to be a Triceratops at the back there, which would be good to actually get some proper Triceratops action, and a Stegosaurus there. So they've added a few more dinosaurs. There's not really much else to say. Boop! No. We have to speculate somewhat, but this is Mr. Chris Pratt, who obviously, as we know, is kind of like a tamer for the Velociraptors. Another thing that people are getting annoyed about, unjustly, I think. We know the raptors are meant to be very intelligent. People have tamed, and I say this in quotation marks, air quotes, lions and such things in the past. Obviously, it's still very dangerous, but most wild animals can be contained to some extent. Obviously, things do go bad, but whatever. The reason I've kept this one is simply because he's doing something with his hand. He's obviously looking at the raptors and probably saying stop or something. I'm assuming what this is it's like a clicker. They use clickers a lot when they're training dogs, and they'll use that noise to... So the raptors relate that noise with a certain action. In this case, stop. So they'll click it and the raptors go and stop. Something like that. I don't really know, but I'm assuming that's what it is. And then we see the raptors again. Apparently there's 4 raptors. I'm trying to remember the names. I think one of them is called Blue, which I'm assuming is possibly this one, since we've got this big blue streak down the middle. Blue, Alpha, Oscar, Delta, something like that. They're all sort of Whiskey Tango kind of names. People are a little annoyed about the raptors as well, just because obviously there's very much a lack of feathers. But as we've said many times in the past, the raptors are they're not real. For a start, they're not Velociraptors. They're Deinonychus. What would follow a start? For an end, I suppose. The point is they're genetically engineered to look like what people would want them to look like. And whilst I know you guys in particular and myself would like to see feathered raptors, the general populace of the world prefers this idea of scaly, monstery looking dinosaurs rather than giant chickens. Fair enough. So the people behind Jurassic Park would in fact leave the feathers off, I'd assume. Maybe some vestigial feathers of some form would be quite good, but you never know, they may still be added. Obviously he's looking at this middle raptor here, and this is obviously a training session or something. This blue stripe. Now, it doesn't seem to be on any of the other raptors. I mean, you can't really see the right hand side of this one or the right hand side of this one, but I'm going to assume it's only on this one. And given her position in the middle, we're assuming this is some form of dominant raptor species. Well, not species, but the dominant in the pack. Boop! Next up, nice little image of this. This is very reminiscent, and it happens a lot during this trailer, of a shot from... Not necessarily shot for shot, but a section of the first film. For a start, we can see what looks to be some form of military presence, or there's a lot of people knocking about, at least, you know, a lot of security you should expect in a park like this. But it's quite like the first film, where with the whole shoot her type scene, you know, we've got this, it's nighttime, we've got a big gas cage thing. I imagine this is the Indominus, it used to be called the Diabolus Rex, and now it's called Indominus Rex. And I'm assuming this is how he's transported. It's a large thing, and there's a large security force. Mobile veterinary unit down there. It would make sense for this to be his thing. Maybe this is what he breaks out for, whatever. And what was I going to say? Yeah, not much to say about this one, but it is quite like the opening scene from the first film. The darkness and the lights and the military presence. It is worth noting, and we'll see this in a minute as well, there is a large casting, a section of the cast that is listed as InGen military. So it does definitely seem as though we're going to get a military presence on the island. Boop! And there's our first, the best look we've had yet, except for later on in this video, at the Indominus Rex, really. That was the first time we really saw him. Her, I suppose. She's looking through a bush. Again, very reminiscent of Jurassic Park. Clever girl, the raptor eye between the bushes. Next up is this lovely man. Look how lovely he is. This is the guy who bought InGen in, I believe, 1998? 5? It's 1995 or 1998 or 6 or 7. It's the mid to late 90s. This lovely fellow owns Maserati Corporation and bought InGen. This is actually the first time we've seen him. I assume he's going to die. The thing is, and spoilers for the book here, for those who haven't read the book, well, you shouldn't be listening right now, but for those who haven't read the book and don't know, John Hammond in the first book is far more evil, essentially. You know, he's very money hungry, he doesn't really care about anything, doesn't really care about the dinosaurs being realistic, and he just kind of wants more money. Just, you know, all the stuff that Gennaro, the lawyer in the first film, all of his personality traits came from the book version of Hammond. And Hammond actually dies in the book. He gets killed by raptors towards the end. Does he get killed by compies? They're hiding in the visitor centre, or one of the buildings, and he runs out. Is it compies? He dies. I think it's compies. Anyways, so that was obviously completely taken out for the film. I need to reread the book. That was completely taken out for the film, and Hammond was obviously made into this lovely kind of guy, because you can't make Richard Attenborough not a nice guy. It doesn't work. What I'm thinking is that this lovely fellow, well, potentially not lovely fellow, the head of Maserati, is kind of going to take on the personality traits of Buck Hammond. So he's going to be power, money hungry, blah 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 blah, and kind of be competing against Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard once she realizes what's going on. And they're like trying to kill this thing, and he's more like, no, we must save it and make lots of money, that kind of thing. Next image, boop. This is Chris Pratt, and another quite a good view of the Indominus Rex. There's a man here, you can just see his arm. I didn't really get the best shot here. You can see his arm there. Security guard running away and gets picked up by the Indominus Rex. And this is something we haven't really seen before in the films. Well, at least not with the T-Rex. The T-Rex obviously had wimpy little arms, whereas this guy's got huge arms capable of, you know, picking people up and such things, which we had to an extent with the Spinosaurus, but whatever. This makes me more optimistic. Oddly enough for Jurassic Park, I'm trying to think, in the third film in particular, except at the very start, very few people died. And I know that's not necessarily what Jurassic Park's about, but at the end of the day, we all want to see people being eaten by dinosaurs. Jurassic Park 2 had loads of it, absolutely loads of it. Jurassic Park 1 had, okay, let's think, who died in Jurassic Park 1? Muldoon died, he got eaten by raptors. Gennaro died, he got eaten by the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Nedry died, he got eaten by the Dilophosaurus. Samuel L. Jackson died, he got eaten by raptors. I think that's it. So 4 people died in the first film. Not counting, like, the guy right at the start, you know, who gets pulled into the cage thingamajiggy. And he's all like, bah, 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 and they're shooting her. They're trying to shoot the raptor who's eating this guy. And there's like 20 guys shooting her. And somehow, despite the fact she's in a smallish cage, they can't do anything. It's a bit silly, but whatever. So I think we see 5 deaths in Jurassic Park 1. In Jurassic Park 2, there's like 500. In Jurassic Park 3, We lose the 2 pilot mercenary guys, the other guy who he's part of the trap, the balding guy. I really don't remember the names of these people from Jurassic Park 3 because they were so irrelevant. It's 3 or 4 in the 3rd film. So there's a big difference there. I'm expecting a death count a lot higher in Jurassic World, God. And this is just part of that spell. So he's running out. This looks like the same place where we saw the scratch marks from the Indominus Rex a couple of trailers ago. Boop! And then yet again, hiding from it. Look, big teeth. Urgh. Not really much to say about that one. It's just quite a cool image. Chris Pratt, there we go, is having a little snooze whilst the Indominus Rex tries to eat his face. Because why not? Boop! Next image. Again, another homage to Jurassic Park 1 with the sick Triceratops. This is a sick sauropod of some description. Diplodocus? People suggested, or IGN suggested, Brachiosaurus, but it doesn't really look like a Brachiosaurus to me. At all. Where's the ridge? There's no ridge. It looks like a Diplodocus to me. I'm not sure what's going on with the teeth either. Well, maybe that's whatever. I don't really know. Either way, I assume it's meant to be a sick Diplodocus. And the reason I like this image, for one, is because obviously the homage to Jurassic Park 1. But also, it's a puppet, you know? That's good. We want puppets. We don't want a full CGI film. And I expect it to be quite CGI heavy, maybe compared to the first one. But that image and that image is both using puppetry. It's worth noting through the vast majority of these images, they all take place at daytime. It's quite a brightly lit film at this point in time. A lot of the other films had a lot of nighttime scenes, so I'm hoping we do get some of that as well. Next, boop! So, I mean, I did skip one image of a helicopter coming in, but this is going to be that military force, and we get yet another good look at the Indominus Rex, and obviously InGen has brought in military. This thing is so dangerous and going to kill so many people that they've had to bring in the military to hunt it down. You know, it's really reaffirming just how big a deal this guy escaping is, and there's a quote during the trailer, something like, "It lives to kill," and like, nothing else. It's a bit of a dick, really. I think the problem we've always had in the past, right, the dinosaurs have really always been the heroes of Jurassic Park, in a way. You know, the people are there, and we love Alan Grant, we love Ian Malcolm and Sattler. We don't like the kids, but we're whatever, that's fine. But the dinosaurs, like at the end of the first film, and we'll link into this again in a second, at the end of the first film, the Tyrannosaurus Rex saves the day. Okay, yeah, maybe it killed Gennaro and maybe it killed Ian Malcolm, but at the end, it comes and it saves them from the raptors. I mean, okay, it doesn't mean to, it's just hungry, but whatever, it saves them from the raptors, and then it has that heroic pose next to the banner and stuff like that. In the second film, it's just looking after its baby at the end of the day. The bad people, the lawyers and such things, are trying to sell her and all this kind of stuff, and she just wants to protect her kid, and we see her at the end with the child and all this kind of stuff. The third one kind of got rid of that entirely. Spinosaurus wasn't heroic in the slightest, was pretty evil and killed the T-Rex. I think that's where they went wrong partly with the third film. You didn't want to root for the dinosaurs anymore because, well, why would you? They were just killing things. There was nothing else going on. They were just killing things. Whereas the dinosaurs in 1 and 2 at least had that personality. The Spinosaurus, it sounds daft saying this for a dinosaur, but the Spinosaurus wasn't fleshed out at all as a personality as a dinosaur. It was just, it's going to pop up and eat you. Nothing else. Whereas we saw the motherly instinct in Jurassic Park 2, or we saw the kind of heroic pose and all that, saving them in Jurassic Park 1, and I think you need that for Jurassic Park. I never actually clicked onto that until now. So to carry on with that train of thought for a second, we know that the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic World, the one that they've got in the park, who's going to be pretty pissed, by the way, that everyone's really excited about this Indominus Rex, I suspect she is going to be the thing that finally takes down the Indominus Rex. I suspect she will be the hero of the whole thing. I suspect she'll also die in the process. I'm thinking a kind of Godzilla moment where she closes her eyes at the end and all this kind of stuff. I suspect she's in it and she's going to die, but I think she'll be the one that finally takes down the Indominus. I'm just putting this out there. That would make me happy. I'd like that. I know it's not really realistic and all that kind of jazz, but at the end of the day, we don't watch Jurassic Park for realism. We watch it for dinosaurs stomping around and eating people and awesome moments and that kind of thing, you know? If you wanted realism, you wouldn't watch Jurassic Park. Next, boop! And best shot yet of the Indominus goes and eats this, assumedly injured military type man here. He's not having a good day, is he? I really don't see this ending well for him. Next, boop! Birdies! Flying dinosaurs! Two things nobody should say. This kind of links in with the next image and the next image, which is my favourite one. But you'll remember this scene from the last trailer. We saw these people running away, and we didn't really see much of a reason why. We saw some shadows and stuff. In this one, these guys are flying all over the place, and they pick up this poor little woman. I love this image so much. It's awesome. I don't really have anything else to say about it, but it's cool. Look at her. Not having a grand time, is she? Not having a grand time at all. This is why people shouldn't be judging the CGI. None of this was here before. None of this was here. It's all got added since the last trailer, and it's going to look even substantially better in another 4 months' time. Anyways, our final image for today. Boop! That's it, really. Just after this, you see the kids in the gyrosphere looking up at the glass and kind of screaming with really annoying faces. God, I hate children. With really annoying faces. It's very reminiscent of Lex and Timmy from the first film when the T-Rex is bashing through the car window shield thingamajiggy. This is the same kind of thing. They have actually gone very, very hard with the homages. You know, there's a good 3 or 4 just in this one trailer, but whatever. This is assumedly the scene that takes place before the broken gyrosphere that we saw in the last trailer. Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard walk past a broken gyrosphere, which is assumedly the same one that the kids are in here. So somehow the kids are going to escape from here. Maybe with the help of T-Rex. Who knows? And then Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, I'm going to have to learn the character names, I completely forgot, go and find them and look for the gyrosphere, which again is very reminiscent of Jurassic Park 1, where the kids and Alan Grant go down in the car, you know, off the tree and stuff, and Sattler and Muldoon go down to check and try to find them. Also, another link with the T-Rex thing we saw and another reference, which isn't in this, but it is in the past trailer. We see Bryce Dallas Howard with a flare at some point, standing next to an opening gate thing. You know, she's holding a flare, looking very nervous and such things. And obviously the flare, as we saw in the first film, attracts the T-Rex. You know, we saw Alan Grant throw the flare into the forest, and the T-Rex starts to walk towards it. And then Ian Malcolm, being a little bit of a tool for some reason, decides to go pshoo and hop out with his flare and near enough get eaten by T-Rex and gets Gennaro killed. So, well, that's okay, actually. We're okay with that, I think. He got killed in a toilet. It's a seminal scene. Anyways, so we know the T-Rex is attracted to the flare. We know that the same T-Rex is still in the film, and she's already been a hero because she's still actually bearing the scars from the raptors attacking her at the end of the first film. And we know, or at least I am suggesting, which is not really at all the same thing, that the T-Rex is going to be the hero of this film once more, because that's kind of the point of the first film as well. The T-Rex is, you know, she's on the logo and everything. The T-Rex is awesome. Screw you, Indominus Rex. So I suspect possibly the reason Bryce Dallas Howard is standing there with a flare is in an attempt to lure the T-Rex out of her exhibit paddock type thing and into a region where she'll be able to battle the Indominus Rex and hopefully save the park. The Indominus Rex is going to take down the military because dinosaurs always beat humans. So that's kind of like the law in all of the films. So the Indominus Rex is going to be basically undefeated and go and kill lots of military people, and obviously it's going to, as we can see here, it's somehow going to break into an aviary. It's going to release these as well, because obviously if we just had one dinosaur roaming about, it would lose a bit of the impact. And I've absolutely lost my train of thought just by clicking that one button there. What the hell was I saying? Indominus Rex. I actually can't remember. Oh yeah, so at the end they're like, no, there's only one thing that can defeat the Indominus Rex. The Tyrannosaurus Rex. And that's basically what the final bit of the film is going to be. And then there's going to be some message about how science is bad. I kid. I read not. I'm just going to rant for a second. We're done with this. That's everything I wanted to say. That's all the images I've got. I just want to say one thing. I saw an article lately by somebody who claimed to be of scientific mind and to be interested in science and the scientific community and such things, sorry, I'm trying to clean my desk at the same time, having a go at Jurassic Park for anti-science bias, you know, shown in Ian Malcolm and the whole theme of the film. And I just think they completely missed the point of the film. Ian Malcolm and none of the people in Jurassic Park are anti-science in the slightest. They're very much like, yeah, we love science. The point is, science is great, and science, you know, is this completely necessary thing that's really advancing the human race, and that's fantastic. But it has to come with responsibility. It's Spider-Man. It has to come with the responsibility. And that's clearly something they've not shown in this film. I mean that, like, from a good perspective, from Mr. Masrani down here, science is basically a way to make money rather than a way to further human knowledge and understanding. And as with most of Crichton's work, again, another thing Jurassic Park 3 did not have in any way whatsoever. I love Jurassic Park 3, I really do. But the more you look at it, the more it's missing some key aspects, because it didn't really have a message. What's the message of Jurassic Park 3? Don't go back to an island where you nearly got eaten by dinosaurs. That's like, well, yeah, obviously. Doi. Whatever. The point is, not to abuse science, and Ian Malcolm says it, things like, you stood on the shoulders of giants, you didn't earn any of the power for yourself, so you don't take any responsibility for it, which is kind of the whole point. And I imagine this film, because it clearly is harking back to the roots of the first film, is definitely going to employ similar kinds of messages. That's all from me. Thank you very much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not here when Jurassic World comes out. I am away in Central America. I get back a couple of weeks later. I am going to watch the film when I'm over there. Somehow I will go see it in Spanish if need be. I really will. I'm also going to record the Lego Jurassic World game whilst I'm over there. I'm taking my little gaming laptop expressly for that purpose. However, when I am back on the 28th, sort of, on the 28th of June, which is pretty much exactly 2 weeks after Jurassic World, nearly, then I will organise an event in probably Manchester, because it's, you know, it's a big city and local to a lot of people. Manchester in the northwest of England, where we will all go and watch Jurassic World together. Probably for the 20th time for some of you. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Cheers, much love, bye bye.